Hello and welcome to the fourth Dev Diary for Captain Forever Remix. This week I want to talk about my approach to creating background elements for the game. And what you're seeing right here is my first set of attempts for elements that you would see floating around behind all of the action. At first I started exploring this notion that all of the background elements would be of a similar style, that being this sort of glow-in-the-dark sticker motif, something that would be familiar to you if you kind of grew up in the 90s. I certainly slept underneath a star field of stickers, thousands of them that I'd put on the ceiling above my bed. I quickly found that this approach wasn't right for the game, given that glow-in-the-dark stickers need to be really bright and you don't want too much attention being taken away from what's happening sort of on the gameplay layer of the game where all of the action is taking place. I'm sure I'll end up using these assets for something in the future. But I moved on from this to this sort of more sketchy style for the background elements. I start out by drawing little doodles in my sketchbook. You can see some of those here. These are really rough. They're mostly just sort of an idea or a starting point for what will later become an asset. I'm messing with, little planetoids and larger ideas for, cool, wacky things that you'll see floating off in the distance behind the game layer. Some more sketches here. Lots of asteroids as well. I take these sketches and then I paint them up in Photoshop before taking them into the game, get them all colored up and inked. And then once they're in the game, they look something like this. So you can see these assets floating around in the background here. I've also been playing with the idea that I will have these assets appear in the game in these sorts of different patterns and shapes that are fun to fly around, fun to follow, fun to explore and find, and also maybe somewhat tell a story in some instances. An example of that here. And so these will all just sort of be floating off in the background behind the action, and they'll kind of give it the player a reason to kind of fly around and keep exploring the space, because if they do that, they'll be finding cool things to look at. So that's it for this week. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to follow us here on YouTube and on Twitter and Tumblr for more news. And as always, here is your moment of Poe.